welcome to the Being Your Own CEO Success Circle. We get together because we like sharing our experiences, and lately we've been having a lot of very interesting ones. uh, we enjoy each other's company. We sometimes even do a little business together. So welcome here, and this morning we're going to be doing a bit of a demonstration of Linux Ubuntu Mate. I always want to say mate because it doesn't have any acute. Spoken like a true Canuck. But first, what we're going to do is introduce ourselves before we get into the topic at hand. So, Vivek, you were here first, so would you like to introduce yourself?
Namaste. My name is Vivek. Literally, it means wisdom and happiness. I am proud to share my belief with Steve Jobs and Leonardo da Vinci, who said simplicity is the ultimate in sophistication. I aim to bring time-tested wisdom and happiness together into your business and life by unifying, simplifying, and amplifying simple technology and tools. Wake Technology is my company. Together, let us wake up our potential. I am in Reading, UK. The weather has been getting colder and colder, and it was 1 degree Celsius this morning. Now it has probably gone back to closer to that again. So I am sitting with the heaters running and all that. So
Right on. Well, when Fred, I'm sure Fred will have something to say about what's been going on in the weather here. But let's do it in the order in which we arrived. So, David, do you want to go next?
Hi, I'm Dave Flannery with websites or
Affordable websites.
websites for small businesses, and I am in Rock Falls, Illinois. Right now, we are broadcasting on the YouTube, okay, and through the website, okay. And I have Javita, and she says, "Hello, everyone. Good day to all of you."
Well,
with a smile.
With a smile. Well,
Yes.
good day to you too, Javita. Nice to have you here. Right on. So, Fred, would you like to introduce yourself?
Certainly. I'm Fred Jones, the creator of Our Future Leaders, where we assist the younger generation to gain communication and leadership skills so they can help us solve all these problems we're having in the world, such as climate change, etc. As far as climate's concerned, LowellAnn mentioned we had a interesting occurrence in the last couple of days where we had enormous amount of rain, abnormal amount of rain. Never happened, I think, in history in many parts of British Columbia. We had a city had to evacuate their city. 4 months ago, they were under alert to evacuate their city from wildfires. This time it was because of flooding. And they had to leave. The whole city had to leave because of the flooding. We had people stuck on the roads because of landslides. Helicopters had to come and rescue them and take them off of the roads and bring them to communities. It was, I don't know, horrendous, I guess you could say. We lost power here because of the floods as well.
Oh.
Yeah, we were out for about 5 hours, no internet. I missed 2 meetings because of that. So here in the western communities, we lost power. Souk and all the area, right?
Wow.
Lost power, and of course the roads were closed. I mean, you just couldn't get anywhere. The Malahat was closed, Souk was closed. Just couldn't get anywhere in the province because of the roads and landslides and flooding, etc. So it's been an interesting time, to say the least. Emergency management British Columbia were inundated by phone calls again.
I bet.
I got the call just say stand by in case something happened
Mm-hmm.
in our community. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's been an interesting 48 hours,
Yes.
definitely.
According to the news this morning, the radio, the Malahat is still closed.
And that's our main on the island. For people who don't know what the Malahat is, it's our main link and our only link really. There's a remote one, but that was also closed. So
Yeah.
you can take an alternative, but it's not much of an alternative. It's normally, if the Malahat's closed, then the chances of using that are often remote. And yesterday it didn't work anyway. Wouldn't
Yeah.
have worked.
Yeah.
So
And
here, all the communities were broke. Yeah.
well, and and of course the issue was we had this incredible rain, and once the rain stopped, the wind came up, and we had an incredible windstorm. The windstorm was probably why the power was off for everybody. Yeah, yeah, it was I mean, according to the radio this morning, we better just get used to it because we're going to see a whole lot more of the same because we have been ignoring the whole concept of climate change. So, yeah. Anyway, I don't want to be a bad news person this morning. So, we have talked about change before. So, I might just say that in my business, I like helping retirees mostly, especially those who are interested in an online business. And of late, this is bizarre. Some of my old clients seem to be wanting to reconnect again, and they keep popping. I'll think of somebody that I used to work with, and suddenly they pop into my inbox. I don't know whether so I said yesterday I think I'll go in and into my computer system and look at all of those old clients and see if I can raise. It's just bizarre what's been happening, but it's also been fun. So and so I think that's really all I need to say. I've been doing a lot of kind of new things, and that means quite a bit of experimentation on my part. Maybe we'll talk about that another time. So this morning we are going to talk about the Ubuntu Mate. And I think I may have said before we started recording that I replaced on my laptop, I replaced the whole operating system with Ubuntu Mate, and I've been finding I'm liking the way it works quite well. On the other hand, what we did with my desktop system, I wasn't quite ready to give up Microsoft just yet. so, so what we did was a partition. We have three. I have three partitions now. I have one that has Microsoft, one that has Ubuntu, and one that has all of my data. So we'll talk about that a little bit more. So and yes, it was I certainly wouldn't have known how to do any of this without Vivek's expert help. So we have made a list of the things that we're going to show you, and we've tried to keep it down to the basics. Well, I guess if you went to the next slide, Vivek, the intention is to walk you through the basics, the things you would want to do right from the very beginning. So that's basically what we will try to do. And so the first thing that we're going to do, I mean, it seemed to be really, really important to me to set up Google Chrome. I might just tell you that Ubuntu Mate comes already loaded with Firefox. But since I don't use Firefox, not that I don't like it or anything, I just don't use it. It seemed to be really important to get set up, getting the Google Chrome going. So that's where we're going to start. And I don't know, Vivek, do you have Mate open, or are you going to take us right from the startup, starting up and then going to setup, or how are you going to do that?
I think I'll show you what is meant by software boutique. Let me share my screen again in a slightly different way.
You probably got about three things open there, don't you? Three pieces of equipment, three or four.
Yeah, so this is my screen. As you can see, this is running Ubuntu Mate. And one thing I must state at the very beginning, every desktop computer or a laptop or any computer and you install Ubuntu on it can look slightly different. So if you are looking for something really standard and it's the coming out of the same mold and no changes and no, then you would be at a loss. So anyway, so this software boutique can be found under Control Center. Let me go there. This is where all the administrative and the hardware, software, all that can be managed. So software boutique is here. I click on that.
So Vivek, we're seeing the presentation on one side of the screen. Was that your intention?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But you are seeing the software boutique.
Yes.
Are you not?
Yes,
Yeah.
we are.
So this is the software boutique. There are various categories here. And to find Google Chrome, so this is the software boutique that I talk about here in this slide here.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the software boutique. To find Google Chrome, I need to click on this icon here, which says Internet. Click on that. So all the software that is related to internet browsing, and so on will be available here. And all you need to do is click a button like this, install.
Mm-hmm.
So as of now, since Google Chrome is already installed on this computer, it's showing me launch button rather than an install button because it's already installed.
Mm-hmm.
Similarly, there are other softwares there, a lot of them. So essentially what you would be doing would be just click on this button and it installs.
Mm-hmm. So can I interrupt a little bit? So I think we discovered also that there is a search button there. So if you were looking for something in particular, you could just click that search button and type in what you're looking for. So and the other thing that I think it it will seem necessary to explain. We may have explained it before, but whenever you're doing anything, you're making any changes whatsoever in Ubuntu, it's going to ask for your password. So it has is according to Vivek anyway, it has something to do with the security. So
Yeah,
you have to enter your password before doing anything at all. So
because
when
that
you load it, you have to enter your password, and then you if you're doing any of these downloads or any of these things, you have to use your password. So you need to use a password that you can access easily, but not guessed by other people, obviously. Yeah. Okay.
so that is about software boutique. Now let's go to, yeah. So all these things are available as one click install. For example, GIMP I showed you. Again, it's installed on my computer. That's why it is saying launch here. KDN Live is a video editing program.
So that would be this similar. I downloaded it, and it looked pretty much the same as my the one that I use in Windows. What's it called? Wondershare. It's under Wondershare. Filmora. It
Yeah.
was very similar to Filmora. Yeah.
Mhm. Audacity again is another application which you can use to modify your audio files, sound files. VLC is a video player.
Mm-hmm.
If I type that here, for example, in the search bar, so this is the player. So all these softwares, to install all of these, all you need to do is just click on that install one button, and of course you need to enter your password. Other than that, nothing else.
Yeah. David.
Yeah. Is all of this software open source?
Yes,
If
they
you
all
do
of
they
them are.
have paid versions of software?
No,
So
all of them
everything
are.
has to be open source?
Yeah, all of them are open source software.
Okay, so you limit yourself to open source software when you go to Ubuntu.
You can get paid software, but we are coming to that. Zoom itself is in a way paid.
Yeah,
You
okay.
pay for the subscription. So yeah, there is a slightly different process for that, but yeah.
Okay,
Um,
thank you.
yeah. So VLC is a video player.
Mm-hmm.
Simple screen recorder is, as far as capturing the screen, it's equivalent of Camtasia. Whatever you do on the screen can be captured. Whatever that appears on the screen can be captured. So if you have your webcam, use your webcam and capture yourself, and it appears on the screen and you capture the screen. So all of that can be captured using the simple screen recorder.
Mm-hmm. David is waving again.
I'm sorry.
It's all right.
Your simple screen recorder, can you take a snapshot of the, like you pause the screen and and send a photo of that?
You can, but there are other softwares that are available to do that, just capture the screen.
Well, I use Camtasia for, like, when I'm going to do a screenshot from Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
It gives the best quality of the picture that I can get, that I have found so far.
Mm.
So I record it. I record it for 2 seconds. Then I take um,
Yeah.
and send a snapshot, and
Hmm.
it gives me a very good record
Yeah,
picture,
you can.
and
You
then I
will be
crop out
able
what
to
I
do
don't
that.
need.
Yeah, you can.
Uh, okay.
So, um, what I've been using very successfully on my Windows machine, it's an extension, a Google extension, a Chrome extension. It's called Simple, no,
Awesome. Awesome.
Awesome Screenshot and Screen Recorder. And so that it just comes with your you can download it. It's an extension that you can use with your Google Chrome.
Yeah, that I think that aspect I think in a way we skipped it slightly here.
Mm-hmm.
When you install Google Chrome, um, you need to sign into your Google account, and then it offers you a choice. You either link your existing profile on your Windows computer, or create a completely new profile. But if you link them together, so whatever extensions and so on that you use on your Windows Google Chrome, they will be available for
Mm-hmm.
you under
Yeah.
Google Chrome on Linux.
Yeah.
So, but that also means you may have to log into your extensions. Like if you have, say, LastPass, and as an extension, and you open up the same thing here, it'll ask you for your master password. You need to key in that, and then you'll be able to access your LastPass things.
Yeah.
So same way, once you do this process here, sign into Google account and then choose to link the profiles, then whatever profile related extensions and all that, what you have set up on your Windows machine, they will be available here
Mm-hmm.
automatically.
Yeah. Okay, David, go for it.
Got question on the awesome screenshot. Um, can you record below the screen? Like a website will go down below the screen, and
You can
or
choose
does
the
it?
whole. When you use Awesome Screenshot, it gives you two choices: one for a selection, so you can select something, or the other choice is the full page.
Okay, so it will record. It will give you the whole page.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
awesome!
Yeah.
Thank you.
And then when you're done, you can, let's say you can while you're there, you can crop. So let's say you took the page and you want to get rid of parts of it, you can crop all that out, and then you can save it and download it
I think
as an
you
image
can
file.
also
Yeah.
you can also annotate things. You can
Yeah.
put arrows and put
Yeah.
text
It's
to illustrate whatever.
a really wonderful extension. It's just I use it a lot.
Well, after we're done, guess what I'm loading up?
It's wonderful. Yeah. Yeah. I could tell you I used it extensively just in the last day or so. Somebody shared a PDF file with me, and I needed an image out of that PDF file, and I haven't paid for all the stuff that you need to, if you want to manage and do various things with PDF files. So basically all I did was open the PDF file, use the screenshot thing, create it, clip it, and save it as an image. I got it. I got what I needed. Yeah. So it's really worthwhile. And it's free. Okay, back to what we were talking about.
Yeah, to set up Zoom, you need to look at a slightly different process, which is you need to go into Zoom, download. This will show up. You'll have to select the type here, Ubuntu, and as I am using a version which is greater than 1604, these are the two choices there, 1604 and beyond. I choose that and hit download. It downloads a file called as DEB, as you can see at the bottom there.
Oh yeah.
Zoom underscore AMD64.deb. A file by that name will get downloaded, and then you will have to double click that file and do a bit of let me show that to you. So that is the process for things like Zoom. So I have that file downloaded. It's in my download directory. I have stored it in all these DEB files I stored here.
So now, what does DEB mean? What
means
what does that tell you when you see a file extension that says DEB?
Debian package, as I'm pointing at here. See this?
I've got my stuff in the way here. Okay. Debian. So a Debian package, does that, it means it's in a Linux type file?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's when you see DEB, you know it's a file that goes with Linux.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
So I double click on that. So this pops up, package installer. So now it says reinstall package because it's already installed.
Yeah.
Zoom is already installed, and I'm actually talking to you through the Zoom that is installed. So now the only option it is giving me is either remove it or reinstall it. I'm not going to do either of them because
Right.
it will disrupt what we are talking here. But otherwise, a button will be there which says install. You click that, it will ask you for the password. You key in the password and hit enter. It will install it. And once it is installed, you will see this.
Which? What?
You'll see this screen, the familiar screen with the Zoom.
We're not seeing it.
Oh, I think I have to stop the screen share. And
yeah, sometimes when you're screen sharing something, it prevents you from doing other things. No, it's not showing the Zoom screen.
No?
No. It's showing your Ubuntu desktop. But I see on the desktop that the Zoom icon is there. And it's also down on the menu bar down at the bottom.
Can you not see the Zoom licensed account and on that?
No.
Okay. I don't know. It's
it started to show it, then it switched right back to the screen, that the home screen. It's like it doesn't want to show it.
Okay.
But it's important. We felt it was important to show where to go and how to what you need to look for in order to download that. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, David, your question about what about some of the programs that software that I may have paid for? It depends on whether they supply a DEB file.
Okay. So like Microsoft 365, would that work on this? Uh-oh, something sounds wrong there. I can imagine that Microsoft don't play well with Linux because it's free.
Right. But you
Well, there's one subscription I won't need to do.
right. So, but you also see on Vivek's Ubuntu desktop here, he's got OBS in there,
Yeah.
and there's you can see. Well, we're going to probably talk about Google Chat and Meet, etc. So,
Do you have a recommended suite that you would use for your WordPress or for your word processing, your spreadsheet and database, and that Microsoft offers? Is there a suite, or are they individual programs?
Google's Workspace. You are part of that. You have a subscription.
Okay. So that would be one.
But there's
But is there
also
one that would
there's
be on
also an Office suite that comes preloaded with Ubuntu.
Okay.
Libra.
Does it have a database?
It's called Libra.
Does it have a database?
I don't know.
Yes,
Does
it has.
Yeah.
How powerful is it? Is it a good database, or is it just a
Powerful is a subjective term.
Yes, I realized when it came out of my mouth. It's like, can I bring that back? That's not the term I want to use. Is it a relational database?
Yes, I mean, I don't think I have installed any of that here, but yes, it is available. One has to look at it and install it.
Okay, I can look at it then.
Yeah.
I got a laptop that really would work with this well. It's slow. Can you do the Google Drive sync with this?
Mm-hmm. We
Okay.
can. We
So then
started doing that yesterday for LowellAnn, but I had to,
Go to bed.
yeah, go
There's
to bed.
8 hours between us. One does need sleep.
That is typical Queen's English. One does need sleep.
Sleep is overrated.
Right. But I mean, you've always got if you've got Chrome, you can always go in and open all of your Google products. But what you're talking about is being able to just, like, if I've got something, can I just keep it there and put it in? Yeah. And we discovered there's a way to set that up. We just haven't done it yet. So we talked about Zoom. It is there. We can see by the icons, etc. But now, what about Google Chat and Meet? How did we do that, Vivek?
Yeah, we essentially went to the option here. Are you seeing my screen?
Yes.
We went here and clicked on that, and Google offered, do you want to install an app for that? We said yes.
Yes. Was that easy? Yeah.
And this icon here appeared after that.
Yeah.
As simple as that.
Yeah. And then if you're in chat, it's really easy to just go to Meet, Google Meet from
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, click on this. It says Meet there. Green camera icon there at the
Yeah.
bottom.
Yeah. And I think you can start a Meet from within your Gmail as well.
Yeah.
David.
Can you still make phone calls through it? Meet.
Yeah, you should be able to.
Okay.
I've never used Meet for making phone calls because it costs me money to do it.
Well, I use it all the time to talk to people in Canada, so that doesn't cost me money to do it.
Yeah.
That's the only place I can call is Canada outside of the United States, but without being
Yeah,
charged money.
that's one big gripe I have about Google. Even this phone, which they talked about so much, it has features that are available only in the United States. And all the reviewers go on talking about that feature, go on talking, it's so great and blah, 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 blah. Not available anywhere outside America.
Right.
So why are you talking about that?
Outside of America.
Yeah.
We're the privileged, you know.
Yeah. Yes.
We deserve it.
So I can call within Canada using Skype.
Yeah.
That's what I have to use.
Can you just call
But
in the United States?
I can't call outside of Canada because Skype will charge.
I don't know. I haven't used Skype in many, many years. I never used it that much. I went to Hangouts and then went to Zoom, and I've never had a real need to use it. No one else uses it, so.
Okay.
Well, there are lots of people who are still using Skype. Yeah. Okay. Onward and upward.
Yeah, a few more things to be demonstrated. Okay. You might say, okay, I have this fancy printer. Vivek, can you tell us how to install the drivers and all the fancy stuff for that? Okay. Here we go. I have my printer, which is also a scanner. I just need to connect it to the right port.
Mine is connected using the I don't have
wireless.
the scan. Wireless. It's not plugged into the desktop.
Yeah. Okay, so all I do is go to administration and printers. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
I click that option. This comes up. There are no printers configured yet. I click on this add. It shows up. This is my printer. A printer connected to a USB port. I just hit forward and it connects it. As simple as that.
What I don't know, I mean, I did do a print job yesterday when we were testing. What I don't know is if I wanted to scan something, how would I do that? Do you have any sense of where you would go to do that?
Yeah, there are the software needs to be provided by your printer manufacturer. That is for printing, all you need to do is just do that.
Right.
And hit that and keep going forward, and it adds it.
So what you're saying is I would need to go online and find a file from Canon to manage the rest of my printing activity.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
So that is the printing thing. No, not this one. So that is the printer.
Yeah.
The next step is you have a lot of files you have created under Windows.
That's if
Now,
you.
when you
That's if you. Yeah.
now you migrated, you want to migrate to Ubuntu, are you might say, am I going to lose all of those? No. You have to partition it correctly and install the whole thing properly. Once you do that, you will have access to all of your Windows data files, such as your Word files, Excel spreadsheets, PDF files, whatever, data files, not program files.
Mm-hmm.
So on this laptop that I'm using now, I do have a Windows partition. So let me show you. And this differs slightly for every installation.
Yes.
So I go to, this is the file manager. And for me, all I need to do is click on this file system here. And here it says Windows, click on that. So these are all the files that are there on my Windows partition. So I go here.
Documents and settings.
This is my folder.
Mm.
Then I go to link to folder. And these are the files that I can access. These are all in the Windows partition.
Mm.
For example, let me show you this picture here. It's a mind map.
Yeah.
I created this while we were, it's Roland here.
Yeah, our old friend Roland. Wow.
Yeah.
David, you're waving.
Yes, Javita would like to know what printer you have, LowellAnn.
I have a Canon Maxify. It's both a printer and a scanner.
So these are all different files that I have
Mm-hmm.
on my Windows partition.
Do you want me to talk about how it shows up on mine? Where I have, so when we set, as I mentioned earlier, we set up Ubuntu Mate in its own partition, and we did it, set it up so that all of my data files were in one place. And so when I'm in Ubuntu, I go to what is it? Kajab?
Kaja.
C-A-J-A.
And
C-A-J-A.
And I think it is Spanish or something. So
yeah. So then when I go into that folder, it shows documents and settings, and I click on that, and then I have to go to devices in order to find and it shows up on the left, and then I can access everything.
in other words, LowellAnn will have to do something like this. For her, it shows under devices, and it shows as a thing under there. So
that's pretty easy. The other thing we have to remember to tell everybody, though, is when you are in Ubuntu and you pull in one of your documents from your data, you when I did that, it opened one of those Libra files.
Yeah.
It opened it there. So then if I wanted to amend that file in any way, I would do it in that Libra, and save it in Ubuntu. You can't put it back into Windows, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you can find the files, but if you're going to work on them, you have to work on them and save them within Ubuntu. So yeah, that's kind of I found that kind of interesting.
Can you save them as a CSV file?
Let's see.
The point is, if you access anything from Windows partition and you try to write back to that Windows partition, Microsoft will not be happy. So by default, Ubuntu has set it up so that you can read from the Windows partition, but you can't write to that. Because if you write it and then later on you boot back into Windows, Windows will start screaming, "Oh, you have done something, something is wrong, we'll have to..."
Right.
So to prevent all that confusion, Ubuntu, they have decided, okay, we'll let you read the files, but you can't write anything back.
I wonder if you can.
So you can read files and copy it into the Linux partition and work with that.
I wonder if you use the 360 app in the cloud, if you could still save it on the Windows version.
I don't have experience with 365, and so
Yeah.
Um,
So 365
probably would want to save. You'd probably want to save it on the cloud and then download it into. You go into Windows and download it into Windows.
which is what
Yeah.
what you would be doing if you were using Drive, Google Drive, the
Yeah.
Google Drive things, yeah, because that's in the cloud, and 365 is too. So yeah, you're probably right, but we didn't. None of us use 365, so we couldn't possibly tell you that's the way to do it.
I don't use 365 in the cloud, so I don't know
Yeah, right.
how it works either. I have it on my hard drive.
Mm.
And the only reason I have it is because it's a lot easier when I get files from real estate agents. It's a lot easier to convert it, keep it in the same format, than to move it into Sheets, because Sheets changes things slightly, but it still can be annoying, and you don't get the same format, or some of the formulas don't work and stuff like that. So it's easier just to keep it all in the same format.
Which is why I do everything in Google. Keep it all in the same format.
The problem with that is I'm dealing with other people, and other people don't like to use Sheets for whatever reason.
So
they don't like change. That is the main reason.
Yes. None of us don't like change. All right.
Because if I tried to change you back to Windows, you'd be all sorts of nuts, because that's
yeah. All right. So we talked about the Windows data files, and we talked about a little bit about the Google files. You just open your browser and you can access all your Google files. Now, the last thing that seemed important to sort of mention, at least, is your WordPress. What happens there? And you're working in the cloud with WordPress as well. So that's basically, you just open your browser and away you go. So anything. And any of the items that you work on in the cloud, you're not going to it's not going to be any different. It's
okay. Here's good. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you go ahead.
I got a question you're probably not going to be able to answer. Have you used any of the email clients?
Email
clients like what?
Well, it would be like Outlook.
Oh,
I still use Outlook because I have emails that are created in websites that and it's
Oh, David or Fred just dropped off.
disappeared.
Yeah.
But I use email clients that a separate email client from Google, because one, I like the way it works because I get a little button at the bottom, or a little. Right now, I know I've got mail and Outlook. I haven't checked, and I know that I have to check that. I wait till the end of the show, but I know I have to check it. With everything else that I've had, including Chrome or their
Gmail.
email client and everything else, they give you a notification that pops up on your screen and then it disappears. Okay, you got 30 seconds or 15 seconds or however long that's up there to, oh, okay, I got an email and take care of it. Well, if you're doing what we're doing right now, which is I'm paying attention to the screen and chat and a few other things, if that comes in, I'm more than likely going to miss it. And if I get up and go make a cup of coffee and it comes in, I definitely miss it, and I don't know I have a new email. And it's important that I know that. To me, that's my preference. That's not anybody.
So the I have the here's the situation that I have. I can work remotely from home with my care center Outlook. I don't use Outlook at home. I gave up Outlook a long time ago.
Yeah.
But I sometimes need to be able to access my emails at the center. So basically, I open a browser and I type in mail dot and the address. So I just type in, and up pops my Outlook password, and I can go in. However, I can see what's in the inbox. I can see. I can create an email and do all that. But I have at the center, I have all kinds of distribution lists and all sorts of things. I cannot access any of that remotely. So now that's working from my Microsoft system. So I'm guessing it will be no different working with Ubuntu.
Yeah.
So I've got a cough, and I know that this is going to show up.
Yeah, so I think we have covered most of what
Unless Fred, you've been very quiet, and I know we all know what your thoughts about Ubuntu and why you didn't go there, but I wondered if you had any observations or any questions that you would want to bring forward.
Yeah, I think the best part was when Windows is screaming and Vivek was saying Windows is screaming because it doesn't like the fact that I thought it was the highlight of the presentation.
You know what we all think of Windows these days, don't you?
Yeah. So I enjoyed that the most, saying, yeah, Windows is not going to be happy with you. It's going to be screaming. Yeah, so that was it. Well done, Vivek. The only thing that comes to mind is this is for somebody who likes being technical. Unfortunately, it's not just as simple of downloading it and installing it. You need to know what you're doing.
Little bit technical, but once you get it going.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. And I know my friend in Nepal is a big fan of Ubuntu and had me download it, etc. I came across, as you probably recall, hardware issues and drivers, etc. So I never got it. I mean, I got it on my system, but I could never get internet, and because of hardware issues and driver issues. But I found it could be attractive. But everything you were saying means if you don't enjoy the technical aspect, you're not going to probably get it up and running. Once it's up and running, I think you'd be happy with it once you know. But even prior to this, you mentioned how much help Vivek gave you to
Right.
get Ubuntu
Getting
up.
it set up. Yes.
And that is critical,
Mm-hmm.
I think, and
Mm-hmm.
that's something to remember. This is not for the faint of heart. It's not just, okay, I'm gonna, like in my case, buy a Google Chromebook and get it up. And even then, there was a learning curve.
Yeah.
So there's a learning curve in everything when you want to change. And
If you're going to change any system that you're using,
yeah,
there's a learning curve.
it doesn't matter where
Yeah.
you go. You're gonna have to
Yeah.
learn, and so that's why we have everybody still using Windows.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to have to change and learn all this stuff. And
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
once you
but
get it up
they
and running, Ubuntu is, I mean, there's millions of people who are fans of Ubuntu, and there's a reason for it.
Mm-hmm.
the counterpoint to that is people have bought into Windows. They have paid good money for Windows, and even when Windows changes things drastically, like what it is doing with now, even from Windows 7 to Windows 10, there was quite a bit of difference, and from Windows 10 to 11, there is another big jump.
Mm.
But people have already bought into that. They have paid money, a lot of money into that. They have somehow managed to work with it, and their attitude is a known devil is better than an unknown angel, and so that's how they go with it. They go with the known devil.
I love your expression, Vivek. A known devil and a wonderful angel. An unknown angel.
Well, I think it with what I'm going to do is I've got a laptop that Windows runs slowly on, and it's not
Mhm.
going to be able to do 11.
Right.
And I'm not
Mhm.
willing to buy another laptop.
Right.
And so I'm going to be switching that to Ubuntu.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Which is what I
Back,
did.
you're going to be getting a phone call.
Yeah. Well, but you know what? When I go out, and because that's all I've got on my laptop is Ubuntu.
Yeah.
I didn't. Fortunately, I didn't. I had almost no data on that laptop anyway. So that has not raised an issue at all.
Yeah,
So
I have no
now
data
that
on
it's all set up, but that was our intention for today, was not to emphasize all the issues around getting it set up, but once you've got it set up, the ease and it's really not complicated. It's really straightforward and really quite easy to manage, and that was our intention today, was to demonstrate that, so that if you do have an old computer somewhere, or a laptop or whatever, and you want to and I mean, if you're if you're not doing the partition type thing that I did on my desktop, if you're just replacing, it's going to even the setup is not going to be difficult.
Yeah.
Because you're just replacing one with the other, and one will go in and erase the other and just put it there. So it's really it's a lot easier if you're just wiping if you don't have anything else that you need to save there.
Yeah, and typically it's much easier to install Linux and Ubuntu on a laptop, mainly because most other laptops come with built-in Bluetooth, built-in Ethernet connectivity, built-in Wi-Fi, whatever. They're all built into the system. So when you install it, at the time of installation, if all these things are detected, then you can almost guarantee that they are going to work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it depends on and how you're using it, but I think if your system is unlike Fred's, if your system is able to connect up with the internet, you have to have the internet to start with.
Mm.
Yeah,
And
well,
if
that was my
that was
problem.
that
Was
was your problem, yeah.
I have the internet on Windows. The drivers and everything work on that laptop, so it's not as if the device isn't able to connect to the internet. However, on Ubuntu or Linux, there was no driver for
Mm.
For your
and
system.
it's not a very old laptop. In fact, the laptop I'm using now is much older than the one that I tried to put Ubuntu on, which was
Mm.
strange, but
Yeah,
it was that driver for that really drove
yeah,
me down the
yeah, I'm
road to
sure.
say, no,
Yeah.
this is not worth the effort and time
Mm.
anymore. But yeah, Ubuntu, I think the real advantage is if you have a laptop that is really not capable of running, it's slow and it's overhead. Ubuntu does not have that overhead. It
Right.
will work
Yeah.
like magic. I
Yeah.
mean, it works so fast. You
Yeah.
can't believe it's the same laptop.
It's like it's
So
Ubuntu is so lightweight by
yeah, it
comparison.
doesn't have the overheads that
Yeah.
Windows has.
Yeah.
So
My
I mean,
laptop would
there's a
be
yeah big advantage to it is
Mhm.
that it's just that unfortunately I came across this um, driver issue and
Yeah.
bought a dongle, whatever it's called, dongle, and
Right. Yeah.
then I still had to get internet to anyway.
Yeah.
Won't go back through that again.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean I was attracted to it because of that,
Hmm.
but I ended up going
Typically, when
Chromebook.
you buy any hardware, additional hardware like something you plug into USB drive or something, USB port,
Yeah,
if you buy it from brand companies like maybe HP, Lenovo, uh, Dell, and such companies, typically they will be supported by default under Ubuntu.
right. Maybe that was the problem. Not sure.
But if you buy some any type of dongle or anything from a company which has put out various different hardware devices, but they are a small company, and hence they are pricing it much lower than the branded
Hmm.
product of the same for the same purpose. Um, they, I mean, yeah, essentially you get what you pay for.
Hmm. Yeah.
So you pay less for the unbranded, I mean, not a great brand product. The support is only for Windows, and I wouldn't be surprised if the same thing will not work for Windows 10 or Windows 11 or something. In fact, I had the same problem. I had a printer which worked very well under Windows 7, and then Windows 10 came. That it said even it's a Canon printer. It's not some unknown brand Canon printer, but they said no, we are no longer supporting the printer for
right.
Windows 10. So I had
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
get
You.
rid of the printer and get a new printer.
Mm.
So
Well, I'm
Yes.
hoping
Well.
that this laptop will work because the main thing it's going to be used for is to um, work on WordPress and
mhm.
photos for WordPress. So
Hmm.
with GIMP, I can do everything I need to do in GIMP.
Yeah.
And um, whatnot.
Yeah,
And the only thing is Casium doesn't work, and I'll have to figure out what to do there.
Hmm.
Casium actually, yeah, that there are even some scripts. I think GIMP can run some automatic scripts. I haven't really explored that aspect of the whole thing, but I think there are scripts available for GIMP. You load that script in GIMP, you open a graphics file or even a folder containing images and tell that script to run this.
Yeah.
It goes through the folder and does all the
Everything's done.
files.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
yeah,
so we have we're going down in the
rabbit hole.
complicated weeds here, and the intention here was to just stay with the basics so that people could see what it's like once it's done, and obviously we have said all along that it would require some help in the setup process, the download process. So so Vivek, thank you so much for taking on the presentation here. I wouldn't. It boggles the mind to think of if I had tried to do this from within Ubuntu using OBS. It just nah. At some point, perhaps with although we kind of decided that my laptop was not wasn't strong enough to handle OBS, but at some point I may give that a shot and see what happens. See if I can see if I can play in that from there.
Yeah, I think the problem that you have with that laptop is probably the hard disk there is on its last legs,
It's an
and
oldie.
so
It's an oldie.
yeah,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
hard disk is one which fails first in a
Yeah.
way. Uh, when things start, I mean,
Yeah. Well,
getting,
it's like I say, it's an oldie, but it's still useful for many things.
mm.
So, all right,
So yeah,
let's draw this to a close. Again, thank you so much, Vivek, both for showing me how to, or guiding me to do all this updating or uploading, but also in terms of what we needed to cover, and so I want to remind everyone it's important to do what you love with passion, and we'll see you next week. I don't know what we're going to talk about next week, but
maybe metaverse.
the metaverse. Oh, well, that would be interesting. Anyway, I see your note there, David. I know you've got a meeting, so we will close now by putting the outro.